Hello, everyone. And recently, I have played through the entirety of Undertale, and I have to say, it's a 9 out of 10 game. I loved it. All the characters were done amazingly, and I must admit, it was also really difficult, especially the genocide run, like super difficult. And so, to help all of you poor players with any of the bosses that you're having trouble beating, well, I'm here to give you some tips. So without further ado, let's get started. So, Toriel. I love Toriel, but you sadly have to fight her. So for Toriel, there isn't much to say, as she's just the tutorial boss. But I'm going to give you a tip that's pretty much just going to go for like all the bosses. Be sure to be like very stubborn when it comes to like mercy. Like when they say no, sometimes you just gotta be like you just gotta be so stubborn that you're gonna keep doing it, okay? Just do not give up, alright? You need to be determined, as the game says. Also, don't eat the butterscotch pie. You need to save that for Asgore, which I will get onto later. But I think that's about it for Toriel. Now let's move on to the second boss, Papyrus. Oh boy, Papyrus. Again, Papyrus is pretty easy. So, yeah. I have a feeling that you're not gonna have too much trouble with Papyrus. But all the tips I have for you are to just master the bone attacks, the blue bone attacks, and he's gonna capture you when you're at 1 health. So if you get captured 3 times, he's gonna stop fighting you. So yeah, you're gonna be fine. But let's just say the next boss isn't going to be as forgiving as the last 2. And that is, of course, Undyne. Now, Undyne, well, Undyne's a bit more difficult. But I think once you really nail her attacks, cause once you understand the Undyne fight isn't really that difficult. You just have to remember her attacks. And then once she starts talking about escaping, or once you have the option to escape, then do that and run all the way to Hotland. Just do not stop running until you get to Hotland. Then you can move on from there. However, if you're doing the genocide route, Undyne has another form. A different form. Undyne the Undying. This one is just pure memorization. Nothing else to it. So, yeah. Good luck with Undyne. Now, the next boss is Muffet. And I gotta say, Muffet is such an underrated boss. Her theme is amazing, and her fight is also amazing. I don't know why, I just really like Muffet. So I think it all comes down to, knowing how close you are to the end of the fight. And, paying her at the right times. So, yeah, that's up for you to decide. But one definite tip is that if you buy a pastry in the ruins, then you can just completely skip the fight. On the first turn of battle, you just eat the pastry and the fight ends. Nothing happens. So, yeah, that's Muffet. And then the next boss is Mettaton. Now, for Mettaton, if you're doing the pacifist route, you have got to get those ratings up to 10,000. Otherwise, yeah, things aren't going to go so well for your run. But that's okay. It wouldn't be that hard. Now, you just have to, basically just survive with Mettaton. And if you're doing genocide route, he does have a different form, but still too weak. So you will still one-shot him. So you don't have to worry. So now we're going on to the final bosses, as I call them. So the first final boss is only available in the genocide route. It is, of course, Sans. Oh, so iconic Sans. Don't we just love him? Well, you're gonna have a bad time. And having defeated Sans, I only have one tip for you. Focus on staying alive. Like, use whatever healing items you need. You just need to survive. And then once you get to the point where he sleeps, you can press the fight button. And then the fight ends. It's that easy. So, yeah. Hopefully it isn't, like, too much of a... Hopefully it isn't too much trouble for you. Anyways, the next final boss is, of course, Asgore. Now, for Asgore, I have a few tips for him. So first, you just want to eat the butterscotch pie. When you're, of course, like, at low health. But eating the butterscotch pie, that is going to get you to have him lower his stats. And then, for the first few turns of the fight, you're going to want to talk to Asgore so that you can lower his stats even more. And that will just make the fight so much easier. And yeah, shouldn't be too difficult, honestly. And then, probably the second last boss you will ever fight, Photoshop Flowey, or Omega Flowey, whatever you want to call him. There's not much you can do, because whenever you die, you just get brought right back in. So yeah, you cannot die, basically, and yeah. However, there's one tip I can give. Always go for the buttons and the green items, no matter what. Even when you're in, like, the final phase and just bombarding you with attacks, you are just going to want to press the buttons and get the green items. Just barrel your way through, get hit a few times, you'll be fine. So, yeah. That's Flowey. And then finally, for the last boss, Asriel. And, sorry for not so much, footage, but Asriel is also pretty simple. Just do what you do best against Asriel, okay? That's just about it. Now, I really, 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 really hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please, pretty please, consider liking and subscribing and all that wonderful stuff, and I will see you in the next video.